Hello and welcome to Filmi Ladies. We are very excited because this episode celebrates the 25th anniversary of the very, very beloved cult classic movie, iconic for an entire generation, the very wonderful Dil Chahta Hai. It is hard to believe that this movie came out in August 2001. I have no idea where time flies, and I have absolutely no idea how a very young, I think 25 or 26-year-old Farhan Akhtar wrote, directed, wrote the screenplay, wrote the dialogues, did all the things for this film. Like, I have no idea how someone strikes lightning like this. But I'm very excited to talk about DCH today. Beth, did you watch this movie in the theaters when it came out, or had you not discovered Bollywood yet?
That's correct. I had not, but I did watch this pretty early on because even in 2005, it was, I think, still held up as like, wow, this is such a great movie. And I concur.
Yeah. I actually watched this movie in America. So I had moved to America the year prior, and I was still in that spot where it's like I was very excited to be in the US. But like, I was like too excited and therefore not homesick enough because everything was still new and fun and like just amazing. But the homesickness had not hit me yet. So when I saw this movie, I was doing my master's and I went to see this movie all by myself because I went to college in the South and all of my classmates were basically like white Southern people, none of whom had ever, like, I got asked if I was Mexican my first week in school. So, and I had to be like, oh no, different country, different continent. And then I had one classmate from New Hampshire who said to me, you were the first brown person I've ever met. And I was like, cool. I don't know where New Hampshire is, so we're equal levels of ignorance. I
Yeah,
was
I'm
like,
sure
what
she's
is New
the first New
Hampshire?
Hampshirean, I don't even know what to call them, that you had
Yeah.
ever met. So,
I feel like it's the only New Hampshire person I've ever met in my life, by the way. But we were both misfits because we were both like in the South. And then someone said to us, "Oh, y'all are the only two Yankees." And I was like, I do not know what this reference is. I have no idea what a Yankee is.
huh.
Because my first point of entry in the US was Chicago. So apparently it was a Yankee. And I
Yeah.
was like, again, I do not know what this means. But yeah, so I went to see DCH all by myself at a theater. And I burst into tears because the
Oh,
homesickness hit me when I see this.
oh,
Because that's when I was like, oh no, I'm all alone. Because if I had actually been in India still, then I would have probably gone and seen this movie with friends and stuff. And instead, I was sitting alone in a movie theater watching this movie and I had FOMO because there were so many groups of Indian like students
yeah.
whom I didn't know who were there with their like gangs. And I was all alone. And I was like, this is very sad.
That is very sad. You had not yet been sent to Australia to manage the family international company.
No, I also did not have a soul patch. So that was also in my favor.
I think on this rewatch that if you asked me the worst thing about this movie, it is that soul patch.
I agree with you.
That's how good this movie is that I can just
Yes.
isolate one facial hair choice, granted a repeated one, but
I would I would like to add another one to the soul patch. I would like to add Amir's burgundy leather, faux leather pants that are in this song behind you with the belt buckle so high that he basically looks like a hobbit. I was like, what is this 1950s waist length? But yes, I would also complain about that. So both my criticisms are Amir related.
yeah.
So at its core, this movie is seen as like one of the biggest like celebrations of, I was going to say friendship, but I really think it's just about male friendship
Mm.
because apparently women cannot be friends. We know this.
Hmm.
And so there are no women friend movies in Bollywood. But they feel like before DCH, people used to talk about like Sholay because the JV
Sure.
bromance is like so famous. And then there's also like this black and white movie called Dosti, which I used to watch when I was a child because I enjoy crying. And that movie used to make me cry a lot because there's like a blind person and his friend. So it was very much catnip for me. I loved it. But I think Dil Chahta Hai kind of like rewrote that where it actually made these like the friendship movie a thing. And I think Farhan tried to strike lightning twice and it didn't work with Zindagi Milegi No Dobara, which is not a movie I dislike, but it's also not a movie that necessarily works for me. What are your thoughts on what this movie is really about? Like, do you classify it as like a coming of age movie? Do you classify it as like a bromance? Um, what are your thoughts on why this film hit the audiences the way it did?
I think it's a friendship movie at its core, but I also think that surely a factor is how unencumbered by parents these people are. The freedom in this movie, right? They do have parents, they do talk with their parents, the parents weigh in, but and the parents, like in Akshay's character's case and Sid's case, provide a great deal of comfort. In Amir's case, they provide some good advice, you know. And in Seth's case, they introduce him to the woman he falls in love with. Spoilers, you guys, but everyone has seen this movie, right? More than any other film we've ever talked about, you've seen this movie, probably.
Yes.
Um, if you haven't, please come back and listen after you have seen it. Um, but they are not, these are young men who are not bogged down by family in any way, that they make their own decisions. I think you could argue that Amir is sent to Australia by his dad, but I also think he was ready for a change of pace and took it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think he could have resisted if he wanted to, and I don't think he wanted to. Um, and I love the sense of freedom in this movie, right? The title song playing over their road trip to Goa. Like, they just get up and they go to Goa. Like, they're very rich. These people are very rich. They have no responsibilities, really. But that is a particular time in your life, if you're lucky, where you are old enough to do things like this, but you are young enough that you don't have a ton of other responsibilities yet. Now, a lot of people never get that happy medium. Most of us have to have a job, but these guys, for a little while at least, don't, and they can just do what they want,
Yeah.
and they experience what it's like to make choices and deal with the consequences of their choices. And I also hope, anyway, that the emotion that they are willing to show about various things, including each other, is very appealing. It's very appealing. So
I
it's not
know.
just that they're bros, these are friends. I use the word bro disparagingly, and but these are um thoughtful people. Now, one of them less than the others. Obviously, Amir's character is the dick and pretty consistently is a dick. Um, but he knows it and everybody knows it. And eventually he wises up a little bit. So wisens up. So I love the thought and the feeling in this.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the sense of freedom. This movie is so I think what made this movie so shocking and radical when it came out, even though it's not like a radical topic, it's
Mm.
just the treatment of this movie is so radical. There's no parents haranguing you. Even Wake Up Sid has a few like scenes with parents being like, what are you going to do with your life or whatever. And they just have so much freedom. And there's parts in this movie where I remember like glaring at the TV and being like, do you not have a job? What do you do all day? Like, for example, the scene with Rohit, who is Preeti Zinta's intended. Like, he's just sitting around and he's playing snooker and blah, blah, blah. And he gets a call from Mahesh uncle and everything. And I'm like, what do you do? Do you not have a job? Do you not have a business? Do you not like, who just sits around playing snooker? So there is that very brief, narrow window of time where if you are privileged, you do get that opportunity
Mm.
to just hang loose and have fun and explore
Mhm.
yourself. When I came to America and I discovered that there's this thing that Americans do, which is they take a year off and they backpack in Europe. And I was like, oh my God. In fact, in Mumbai, you see so many of these people in Colaba. I mean, you either
Oh,
see
sure.
hippies in Colaba or you see the backpacking people in Colaba who stay in like youth hostels and they'll be like, oh yeah, I was in Thailand and then I'm going to Sri Lanka. And I'm like, wow, must be nice.
For what
Um,
it's worth, I do not know a single American who has done that. I've heard of Australians doing it,
yes.
but I personally do not know any Americans who have done that because most of us have to work.
I met several people in New York City, like
Wow.
when I lived there, who did that. I don't think I've
Wow.
met anyone in Cali who did that. And I made the mistake, like I was at a like a slightly older friend's son's high school graduation, and they were Indian. And I made a little joke about, so after high school, before college, are you going to go like a year backpacking? And my friend just like looked at me and glared, and she was basically like, do not give this child ideas.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I thought that was amazing. I love that they just have the ability to like get up and go, because
Mhm.
like for me to be able to go on a vacation, even like for a weekend trip, I there is so much scheduling I have to do. And it just, this movie is bittersweet and sad, because you think of all the freedom you used to have, all the free time you used to have, how
Mhm.
unencumbered you were by responsibility. You don't have bills to pay, you live with your parents,
You
and
don't
it's
even
just
have a
kind of
pet.
nice. You don't even have a pet, you have nothing. And it's just kind of cool. Now, granted, these people are very, very rich. And
Mm.
this movie always cracks me up, because, like, I'm a fourth generation Mumbaiker. I have never, ever seen or experienced the Mumbai these people live in. I know what this Mumbai is because I went to college in Churchgate. So in this film, presumably they went to college, they went to Wilson College, which is not that far from where I went. And there's these enclaves in South Mumbai, like Kolaba comes to mind, Pedder Road comes to mind, Carmichael Road comes to mind, where it's just leafy and green and quiet.
Mhm.
There is not one sound. And I am also from South Mumbai, but I don't live in those kind of, like, my mom's house is not in one of those ritzy areas. So the Mumbai I know, there's taxis honking, there's your neighbor's pressure cooker whistle, there's the telewala that is going down the street and he's selling, like, things.
There's no wallas in this movie.
There is no wallas in this movie. I did not see a milkman. I did not see a parwala.
No.
I saw nothing.
Chai, nothing.
Nothing. It's very like, it reminded me so much. And I had richy rich, like incredibly loaded friends, like the kind of friends whose house had like an MF Hussein in the living room, like that I went to college with. And they lived in places like that. And it reminded me of this friend I had. She lived in Kolaba, and they lived in this like building from the balcony, it was huge, this place. And from the balcony, you could see the sea.
Mm.
And it was a sleepover. And I woke up the next morning and my hair is like all disheveled and everything. My friend was still sleeping. I woke up and I came into the living room, and her mom, this was like straight out of a movie. Her mom was already dressed beautifully in a sari. She was wearing diamonds, and she sat in the middle of the living room with her veena, which is like a South Indian musical instrument, kind of like a sitar. And she was doing her morning practice of her veena, overlooking the Arabian Sea. And she just looked at me and nodded. And I was like, ooh, I should shut up. And I just sat on the sofa, like very uncomfortable, because I'd met this woman like once in my life. And I waited for someone to come and offer me like tea or something. And I was like, how do these people live? In my house, if you slept past a certain time, your mom was yelling at you
Mm.
and telling you to get your ass out of bed and like feed the cat.
Mhm.
So this world that Farhan Akhtar and Zoya Akhtar embody and inhibit, and their characters embody, I've seen glimpses of this world, but this is not my world. And it's kind of cool, but it's also so weird, because it's like, this is how kind of the 1% lives. And it must be nice, it must be really nice, because but to be perfectly honest, I do miss the Mumbai I know and love. I miss my Mumbai, the one that's like a little bit noisy and a little bit chaotic, and your neighbors banging on the door because they need something. um but yeah, I also like the fact that this in this movie they're so emotionally open. They talk about their feelings, they talk about how much love they have for each other. And I feel like we live in a world where, especially in India, where coupling up is like the most important thing you can do. And people do this thing where they find their partner and then they completely forget their friends,
Mhm.
or they have a baby and then you're persona non grata. And I love the fact that in this movie they still love each other and they care about each other. Now the cynic in me says that 25 years later that is no longer the case, and now their businesses and their wife and their children are the center of their universe, and they maybe meet once every few years. But I like the idea, at least, that this movie positions, which is that friendships matter, friendships are
Mhm.
important,
Mhm.
and let's not just relegate them like, don't put that in a different category. And I think that's also what makes people sad when they watch this movie, because we've
Yeah.
all been that friend that feels like we're not valued enough
Mm.
because the other person cares about us, just doesn't care enough though. So
Mm.
this movie brings up a lot of sadness in me, Beth.
Yeah, there's a bittersweetness to it at
Yeah.
times as well. Well, and especially because the death of Tara is moving. I knew it was coming. Obviously, I've seen this movie many times, and I was sad. I was
Yeah.
sad.
I also love Tara's character. I mean, again, I
Mhm.
can't remember the last time we had a character that was like a divorced mother who clearly has a drinking issue,
Yeah.
and she's not vilified for it. She's not demonized for it. She's just seen as this.
Well,
Did anyone villainize her? Well, I
I
mean, his mom did.
his mom did a little bit, although I think that the arguments presented by Amir's character and actually his mom against a relationship, which by
Hmm.
the way, he does not think would ever happen. He is not
Right.
actively wishing for it. He just has feelings for her. And
Yeah.
he didn't want her to know that. She finds out accidentally, and he had no intention on acting on them. So these people in his life are overly concerned. But I mean, they do kill her.
Oh, the
So,
director does. Yeah, that is
yeah.
true.
And I had never thought about that before this watch. So when I said the soul patch was my biggest issue, I was kidding. That's actually, and that's a question. Um,
Mm,
and I'm open to argument about it because until they kill her, I do think she's presented in a pretty judgment-free way, actually.
yeah.
And the fact that Sid comes from an environment which it's not only okay, but nice for him to offer this strange woman who's what, 20 to 22 years his senior, right? Who's
Yeah.
struggling with luggage. It's totally fine for him to ask her for help. They take her suitcase and one suitcase inside. He throws his bag down on the couch and they go and get more, right? So not only is it fine for them to interact, he instantly trusts that he can just put his stuff in her house, even though they've barely just met. He doesn't think he even knows her name. Maybe he knows her name at that point, but you know, so it's this very genteel, open, but also assuming the best world,
Yeah.
which is a luxury. But I think these people do assume the best most of the time.
Yeah.
It's a really nice mindset if you can afford it. I'm
I
not just
know.
talking about money, I'm talking about all kinds of safety, right? Like it's a wonderful thing that you can live in a world like that. Um,
Yeah.
so I, but so then here we have Tara who has trouble assuming the best because of
Hmm.
what she's been through and because her husband was horrible to her and cheated on her, right?
Hmm.
And took her daughter in the custody and she has an alcohol problem. We don't know how or when or why any of that, right? It's kind of portrayed as being in connection to the divorce, but we don't really know. Um,
Yeah.
an addiction is an illness, is a disease and things like that. So we don't know. But yeah, to kill Tara is I think unnecessary. Um, and I would love to know more about why they made that decision because
Right.
she could move.
Oh,
She could
yeah.
go check into a clinic in Switzerland or something, right? And be gone. They could get rid of her without having to get rid of her.
Yeah.
Um,
She could like just leave in the middle of the night and just like
yeah,
ghost him.
yeah, exactly. It's 2001. There's no social media. It would have been a lot harder to find her. And she knows how to stay gone if she wants to, I'm sure.
Hmm.
So
Oh, plus when she moves in, she says that it's basically her company has given
that's
her that
right.
apartment to live in. So
Right.
presumably once her project is over, she could just like
Hmm.
leave and go to Delhi for her next project or whatever, right? And she could be like,
Hmm.
sorry, my project got over real early, and so I'm leaving. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I did really find myself wrestling with the question of
Mm.
did that character need to die? Because it does seem like she's being punished for being a
Mm.
divorcee who is problematic enough that the other parent, the co-parent, well, is the sole parent really,
Right.
been denied access. So for a mother in a Hindi film to be denied access to her child,
Right.
what has she done? Right? Or what has the husband convinced the lawyers in the court that she has done? Um,
Yeah. I think my perspective is a little different. I don't necessarily see her being killed off as like a moral judgment against her, only because I just don't think that's how Farhan Akhtar operates. So that is just based on watching his movies in
yeah.
general and the fact that she's treated so kindly. I think that her death is a plot device meant to bring a little bit of reality to these
Hmm.
people's life, because this movie is all about living in a bubble.
Hmm.
Like, what is that song? The very technicolor LSD song "Kaisi Hai Ye Ruth," when he's like dreaming and fantasizing about Tara, and he's like in love and he's wearing white, and it's the grass is so green. It literally looks like a song that is meant to be about like a drug high, but
Yeah.
that's
The
like there's
dolphins and the
bubble,
bubbles.
the bubbles. It's very Lisa Frank. I
It is a
expected like a
very Lisa
dolphin.
Frank sign. Yeah, a song. Yeah.
I wanted a dolphin to come running out of somewhere, to come flying out of somewhere. But I mean, in this movie, this is the only real bad thing that happens to these people. And it doesn't even happen to the people. It really only happens to
Oh,
Sid. I
that's
mean, obviously,
interesting.
right? Like
Yeah, you're
his
right.
life isn't
Well, I mean, having all your
going
stuff
well.
robbed is not good, but
Yeah, but it's
he's
not.
fine. He's
He'll be
fine.
fine. He's a richy rich boy. It's
Yeah.
like it's probably more his ego that's hurt because he knows that like he isn't quite the Casanova he thinks he
Yeah.
is. But it's like the first moment in this movie where like your consequences have actions. So for instance, if you do in fact have a disease and you're not maybe being treated for it, and it progresses so rapidly to a point that you can't get a liver transplant, that happens. Like
Yeah.
that's real life, and a medical emergency could happen and you could die too. And I think it's the first time in this movie that, for Akshay Khanna's character at least, you get to see that something real like gets to like pierce his bubble.
Hmm.
Um, I think the other thing that happens that pierces someone's bubble is when Amir Khan realizes how absolutely horrible Preeti Zinta's fiance is,
Yeah.
and the
She has
things,
had bad things.
right, the bad things that happen to people. Like she was 6 when her parents died in a car accident. That is not a girl who lives in a bubble. That is a girl who has had to live off of her
Yeah.
parents,
Friend.
business partner slash friends generosity,
Hmm.
and she essentially doesn't really have the safety net, and she feels this sense of guilt, like I have to marry their son because otherwise it's weird, da da da. And
Yeah.
that's when he says like when he sees these are the choices women have to make,
Hmm.
right? Like she has to pick social status and safety, but the safety being provided is by a guy who is emotionally and potentially physically abusive to her. But
Physically
these are
abusive.
choices
Yeah.
that he will never ever have to make. And even the other girls in this movie don't have to make. Like Sonali Kulkarni's character is presumably like fine and comes
Fine.
from a nice family and all of
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. To me, Tara's death is meant to be the first thing that really pierces that bubble of like bad things happen. They may
Hmm.
not have happened to you. You conveniently got a
Hmm.
scholarship to go study art in Kasauli, as one does.
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Yeah. Yeah. It is that. It is also for sure that as well, if not, in fact, solely. Yeah.
mm,
One of the things that struck me on this rewatch is that this is a movie without any guilt in it until you find out about Preeti Zinta's background, which is the very, 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 very end. Also, isn't it weird that Akash doesn't know that already? What have they been
yeah,
talking about? She hasn't
be-
said to him, my
Akash only
part.
talks about Akash though.
Hmm.
Akash is not a listener. There's
No,
that
that's
scene
true.
after the opera when she says, "If you only like talk less and actually listen more."
Yeah.
That was basically what did we keep saying in our Ikka episode? How about you shut up?
How about you shut up? How about you shut up? Which is
Basically,
very true of this character.
yes.
Let's talk about Akash a little bit. I couldn't.
Who I just
Oh,
wanted to make one tiny point before we move
yeah.
on. This is the first time in the movie that I clock the concept of tyag
Ah.
and balidan, our favorite things, because
Hmm.
Preeti Zinta is very much doing a tyag of her personal happiness. She knows she's going to be so freaking miserable with this guy, but
Yeah.
she's doing it out of a sense of guilt, as you said, but also tyag and balidan because she wants to, on some level, make those quasi parental figures who have supported her whole life, she wants to make them happy because she feels like if she rejects their son, then so it's the first time in this movie that we see those insidious concepts propping up. And I do find it interesting that the only person who experiences these insidious feelings is a woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we can move on to Akash.
Akash. So again, this on this rewatch, it has been a while since I've rewatched this whole film. I've watched some of the songs, um, which we'll get to. Okay. Is Akash annoying? Is Amir annoying? Both or neither? And I could not decide because Akash to me is incredibly irritating. And I couldn't decide if what Amir was doing with the smugness and, when the people talk about someone being punchable, like, and he does get
Yes.
punched and he deserved it.
Yeah.
Well, violence is not the answer, but also I understand
Sometimes it is.
the urge to punch this guy. If not just for his terrible jokes when he grabs the microphone at the club, if nothing at the club, for nothing else. I just couldn't decide. I was also very distracted by reminding myself how old Amir Khan was when he did this role. And
36.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. That doesn't bother me super much just because we know it's a thing that happens with actors, right? But when I was just thinking about his performances and how I guess the most recent thing I've seen him in, the thing I have seen him in most recently is when I rewatched Rangila for our episode
Oh,
on Urmila, right? And I was like, these two, wow, what different characters. And he's so amazing in Rangila. I'm
yeah.
like, is he actually doing a really good acting job in this? And I think I have to say that he is, but then I got myself all turned around. What do you think?
I really think it's both. I
Mm,
think as much as I am not an Amir fan and I feel like I dunk on him a fair bit, when he's doing a good job, he's so good, Beth. Like he's really, really good when
yeah,
he's good.
yeah.
And when he's bad, he's horrid. But I do think that that is also Amir Khan's actual personality. Like he has always like kind of leaned into this smug, like Mr. Perfectionist
Smug.
thing. Yeah, and all those
Arrogant.
interviews where directors talk about how much he interferes on set and just,
Mm.
which I have mixed feelings about that because on the one hand, I'm like, yeah, he's kind of stepping on people's toes. But on the other hand, as the actor and the person who's going to get blamed if the movie bombs, like he kind of has a right
And
to
he
make sure
has
that the
taken that blame, right?
exactly.
Yeah,
No one blames the director. They blame the face of the movie. So I,
yeah,
I kind of see both sides of the story, but
yeah,
he can be so smug. And actually, some of my most favorite Amir Khan performances are where he's that smug. I mean, 1947 Earth comes to mind. What a jackass. How
yeah.
evil, how Machiavellian is he in that movie, right? But also so smug. Like he
Hmm.
knows he's so much smarter than everybody else and he's going to run
Hmm.
circles around them. They're all stupider than him and he knows it.
Yeah.
Also, Andaz Apna Apna, yes, it's a comedy, but again, Salman's character is so ditzy and so dumb, and Amir is so sharp and so smart. I mean, he's like filmy dumb in his own way, but there is like a shrewdness and a calculating quality to Amir where it's kind of like he's the smartest person in the room, he's the
Hmm.
sharpest person in the room, and he has the gift of the gab. He's
Hmm.
slick. Like he's slick, he's smug. I can totally see Amir doing a role like Bunty or Bubbly. I'm not mad about Abhishek having done it, but I can totally see Amir playing like a con man, like in Bunty or Bubbly, where he can basically sell an unwitting tourist the Taj Mahal, you know? So I do think it's both, but I think this character is so interesting. And I guess now, do I want to be friends with Akash? Absolutely not, because he would just trigger my blood pressure so much that I could never be friends with him. He's so annoying. But I do appreciate the fact that he has friends in this movie who know what he's like and they accept him for it. And I really appreciate the fact that both his friends hold him accountable for his dickery. There's that scene where when they have the fight, when Akshay Khanna basically says to him, like, there's a limit you cannot cross in friendships.
Yeah.
I love that line. And I think as we like, I don't think people were talking about that back then, but as we went deeper into the 2000s and now in 2026, everyone talks about boundaries and stuff.
Yeah.
No one was talking about boundaries in
No,
2001,
no.
but Akshay Khanna's character was talking about boundaries
Yeah.
and he was saying, you can joke with me and you can pull my leg and you can say silly things, but there's a line you cannot cross. And Akash is that guy who constantly crosses those
Oh,
lines.
all the time.
Right. So it's like I like the fact people I would just walk away from a person like that and be like, I do not have time for your tomfoolery. But I appreciate the fact that he has friends who are willing to sort of put in the work and help him learn and grow to be the better person, and they're willing to see both sides of him because he is a good friend. He is a loyal friend too. He just has this dickishness that is infuriating.
Yeah. And think, I know that Seth's character says something like, you can call him and he'll be there.
Yes,
I'm not sure I agree because I think Akash's friendship has no, it is a self. Now, all friendships are at least a little bit self-serving, or our friends make us feel good, or we
of
wouldn't
course.
be their friend, probably, right? But I think his is, I think he likes having this peanut gallery.
Yeah,
Um, and Samir will, punch him, and Sid will just sit in the corner and be like, ugh, eye roll and make a sketch, So like he
yeah,
doesn't get a lot of resistance really from
yeah.
them. And I think he likes having this audience. Um, so
That's true, but I also feel like both things can be true. Like he can enjoy having his audience. He clearly loves being the center of
oh
attention. That
yeah.
is so
Yeah.
obvious. But at the same time, I do think he also has real deep affection for his friends. And I think on some level, he knows. I mean, it's not just on some level, he knows he's a dick. He knows he's a dick. He
Yeah.
says so at the airport as well to Seth.
Yeah.
But I think there's a safety net that friendships have where you know that you can, like, be horrible and your friends will forgive you
Yeah.
within reason, and they'll let it go. Also, this movie doesn't tell us how long they've been friends. I get the sense that they've been friends since they were like in kindergarten or something, and they
Yeah, me
just
too.
went to the same college together,
Hmm.
because you don't form these kind of friendships just from like 3 or 4 years of college. I have a feeling these people have known each other since they
Yeah.
were like 5.
Yeah, I think so too.
But then that also gives you that safety net, right? Like your friend who's known you since you were 5 is not going to dump you because you were a dick. They'll yell at you, and maybe there'll be a period of some tension, but they're
Hmm.
also not going to, like, I have friends I've known since preschool. I think my
Hmm.
oldest friendship is with someone we went to Bambi preschool together in Nigeria, and we were 2. Like, they can be a dick, it's fine. I can roll with it. I can also be a dick, and it's fine too. So there's that safety net that years, like
Yeah.
you don't want to throw that away, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Samir's character, and then we can come to the most interesting character, which is of course Sid.
Yeah. So once again, Saif Ali Khan, man,
He's amazing.
he's so good.
He's
This is
so
just the
good
Saif Ali
looking.
Khan podcast at this point. He's
Yes,
so good in this movie. He's
he's
so good.
charming and cute, and he has the most gorgeous smile. And there were scenes where I kept feeling like I was watching Sharmila Tagore actually, and I was like, "Is that Sharmila?" Well, it's just her son. It's fine. But he's amazing in this film. I mean, this film would not work without his character, and
Nope.
he's kind of the one who keeps
Yep.
these two polar opposites together, and he never gets enough credit for it because he's and there's such wisdom and sweetness underneath the silly, they'll fake I fall in love with a new girl on every day that ends with a Y. uh,
Hmm.
so darling.
He also performs beautifully in Voledki Hai Kahan, which I think is probably my favorite Hindi movie song ever because
It's
I think
amazing.
it's so creative and I think he really nails it. And then at the
Yeah,
end, when the whole, and then like the whole, like,
the theater.
what wall is what, and are we in a, who's in a movie and who's in which movie and
Yeah,
what's real and what, and it's just so playful and creative. And, the bafflement of like, oh, I've
right.
realized the thing. It's so lovely.
He's so cute. I love his romance with Sonali Kulkarni
I do
because,
too.
like, her expression, first of all, she looks like a doll, but also her expressions when she's just kind of like, what? Because he's so zany.
Yeah.
And she comes across as so like normal and stable. Like
Yes.
she's just normal. And
Yes.
so his zaniness, I think, is like perplexing to her, but also attractive to her. And it's such a low drama friendship slash
Absolutely.
romance. And it's so rare to see like these low drama things. And then I find it hilarious, the boy that she's actually in love with, Subodh, who apparently I read is not an actor. He is actually Farhan Akhtar's friend from school that he
Oh, that's
cast.
why he's in that. Okay.
He's not an actor at all. Farhan Akhtar just cast him in that role because that overscheduled, overly sentimental person.
That's
That's
cute.
that's so funny. But yeah, I really enjoy the romance between them. And what really made me giggle is in Wo Ladki Hai Kahan when they're doing that typical like Anil Kapoor and Madhuri Dixit song. She even has the big curls that
Ah,
Madhuri used to have in the chiffon sari and all the
yeah.
bangles. And they're clearly in that same location where Keh Do Ke Tum from Tezab was filmed, like on the mountain and everything. And
Amazing.
she's in blue chiffon sari. And then they're just doing like their hip thrusts. They're having so much fun.
It's so funny.
It's so good.
And the
And
choreography is just hilarious.
it's fabulous. And I know Farah Khan did that later with Om Shanti Om with the song that is also kind of like a homage to like the different
Hmm.
Bollywood eras and stuff. But this one came first, and this one is much better, I think.
It's just it works so perfectly in the film. You can still watch it as a standalone and it works
Yeah.
like it's so funny. And I don't know who this guy is, but he's the male tap dancer in the like 30s,
Yeah.
40s segment who they get a close up of doing like
Yeah. Yeah.
well, I don't know who that guy is, but I've loved that guy for years. I'm like, so all props to you, backup dancing, sir. I hope I don't know who you are, and I hope your career is great, whatever it is. But I just it's so funny. It's so
Also, I feel like no one ever talks about, and myself included, no one ever talks about Saif Ali Khan as like a great dancer
I
because
mean, we have
all,
been talking about it,
yeah,
but he sure
he's
is
so
good. He
good.
sure is.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
go
I
ahead.
even thought that Amir Akshay danced pretty well too. I mean,
Yep.
Akshay gets criticized a lot for his dancing because, like his father, he has two left feet. But I thought he was really good in
No,
this too. But Saif
yeah.
really stole the show in the
No,
dance
and
number.
like, so in Koi Kahe, which is another, I think, of just truly amazing songs. Like they're all doing the choreography slightly differently,
Yes.
but they're to and that makes sense. Like they're three different people who are not dancers, right? Like
Yeah.
the characters are not dancers,
Right.
and they it just really works. And they're all I was trying to decide who I thought was doing the best. And actually I like
Mhm.
all of them in this song very much. I've
Yeah.
liked Amir as a dancer before as well. And like you know, oh, it's
I
so
think I
fun.
was charmed by Saif the most
Oh yeah.
in this song. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this song is so like from that era. It's so like MTV and VH1 coded. Like, the black background with the people in the neon like doing their somersaults and stuff. But it works for me because to me it doesn't feel dated so much as it feels like a
Ooh.
time capsule of that era.
Yeah. I I was just I mean I've seen this song so many times. It's one I
Yeah.
watch, outside of the film. The pleather and the shiny,
Yeah.
the stupid little barrettes all over the head. And
Yes.
this handkerchief top, I'm pointing to someone behind me in my
Yes.
screen grab, like, oh, that was everywhere.
It
Uh,
was.
it really was a time capsule. And I don't know if we can express to people who did not live through this just how exactly accurate this song is, even for
It's
me from a different country, right? Like, ooh, we did really dress like that. And Sonali has a scene where she's got the two stupid little barrettes with the slightly zigzag part. We used to put that on to go to class, to go to work, to go to the club. Like we were doing that to our hair, and so
yeah.
dumb.
I used to buy clothes off of, do you know the Delia's catalog?
I put a picture of her in that look on Bluesky last night and
Oh,
put
nice.
Delia's on it, spelled the right way, of course.
Yeah, with the flower in it. Yeah, so like I used to shop from the Delia's catalog
Of course
and
you did.
like I used to wait for the catalog to come and then I would like order things from it. And then those like little barrettes and there would be like Teen Vogue and stuff used to have like tutorials on how to do
Oh yeah.
it. And then of course there's Avril Lavigne and all of those people who used to do it. And then Hilary Duff and everyone. And it's so funny where now Gen Z is finally rediscovering some of those things, like some of those little purses we used to carry and then the low rise jeans. Now, to be fair, the super, super low rise jeans, like the kind that Britney Spears popularized, those never caught on in India because the
Mm,
culture was just
too low.
just
Yeah.
too conservative for that. I
Yeah.
like I don't even think like Levi's was selling those in India. You probably had to come to America to buy it. But those jeans are now like coming back. And all the Gen Z people are like, how did you wear this shit? Unfortunately, a lot of things from the 2000s is coming back, like now in the GLP-1 era, the toxic
Mm.
thinness of the time, the heroin chic of the time, all of that is coming back. So, uh, if people want to know what's in store for them, please watch this movie.
It was aesthetically a very horrible time.
I mean, I still okay enjoyed it though.
I don't think I enjoyed it. I don't remember enjoying it. And boy, every time I look back, I'm just horror. It's so hideous to me.
I
So
wish I
hideous
could
to
tell
me.
people what everyone smelled like because I went through a sunflowers phase.
Oh yeah.
Sunflowers was the perfume of the time, and I had three
Or,
bottles of sunflowers, so I would never run out. And it is one of the most disgusting things I've ever
or
smelled.
Clinique Happy.
Yes, Clinique Happy. Also, which Clinique Happy you will not be shocked to learn. Aishwarya Rai, who I was a mega fan of, had in one of her interviews said that that's what she applied. And I was like, yes, I need Clinique Happy because Aishwarya wears it.
Mhm.
Also, Bath and Body Works mists. Everybody walked around smelling like their watermelon mist or like their vanilla mist. I was mostly a sunflowers girl, but like I wish I could explain to people that era in perfumery.
Mm, mm.
Good times, good
It was
times.
a
I enjoyed
time.
it.
It was a time.
um okay, let's come to I will say, like, of all of these three, my favorite is probably Samir's character, and he's the one I would most want to be friends with, and I think
Mhm.
him and I have similar personalities. So I mean, I do not fall in love with different people on days ending in Tuesday, ending in a Y, but at that age I did, though, so I relate to him. Also, I was never robbed by anyone in Goa, but so maybe I'm smarter than Samir.
Can I just say that a friend of mine is the thief's the girl sitting with the thief on the beach? That's my friend Sarah.
Oh, nice.
I haven't seen Sarah in a long time, but I met her via Bollywood, and that's her.
Wonderful.
And she's credited in IMDb. I was so glad to see. I was like, great there,
Okay.
Sarah.
Okay, let's talk about Sid. Is Sid your favorite
Oh,
character of the three friends?
he used to be. I think maybe Samir is also mine at this point, but Sid, I think, is a wonder of script writing. I'm
And
very curious if
acting.
this is based on a real person because he feels
Mm.
so real to me. And the acting, I mean, this is actually kind of his best work, I think.
It
As
is.
discussed, I'm a big fan, although I'm pretty out of date with seeing a lot of his work. But this is an amazing performance. This is an amazing character. Sid is a lovely human being. I don't think he ever sets a foot wrong in this entire movie,
Yeah.
but he's also flawed. You know what I mean? Like he never hurts anybody else. Um, he's open, he's creative. Even though he and his mom have disagreed about Tara, he goes
Mm-hmm.
to his mom for so sweet when he like kind of leans against his
Leaves on
mom and
her.
he's, like patting his back. Like it's so sweet. He takes his career and his talent seriously. He cares about his friends. He's the one that somehow has the hospital has called when Tara is in the hospital. I'm still unclear about how that happened, but it doesn't matter. I don't know if he's her in case of emergency or he just
Might be.
saw her getting taken away by an ambulance or something because he's her neighbor. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Just such a lovely human being. The care he shows to Deepa, one of the best side characters of all time. He's so kind.
Yeah.
He's
He's
just
so
a lovely human.
genuine.
Yeah.
Like, what you see is what you get with him. He's just
Mhm.
emotionally open. One of the annoying things about Akash that I find is, have you ever been like a Friends watcher?
Yes, unfortunately.
It's a little bit
Okay.
disturbing, like, which is very much this
Oh, yeah.
phenomenon of
Yeah.
men who don't like to share their feelings, and so everything has to be a joke.
Yeah.
And it's very irritating because it's like, you can have a conversation like an adult person. You don't have to make a joke out of
Could my
everything.
belt buckle be any bigger?
Right. Chandler Bong. But yeah, like he's kind of like this very Chandler Bing-ish person. We know this guy. Like I
Mhm.
know this person. And Sid's character, on the other hand, is so much more like wise beyond his years, I want to say.
I mean, I think there's a reason he's named Siddharth, right? Like, I think
Yes.
he's enlightened.
Right. Although he does have like a strong streak of naivete and as well. And maybe his Roman Empire, maybe
Maybe.
his catalyst for growing up even further is in some ways his one-sided romantic relationship with Tara. That's gonna like poke his bubble. I
Yeah,
do like his character a lot. He's very sweet.
he's lovely. Yeah, this is just every scene with him. There's some other lovely thing about him. And Akshay, like all the little like part smiles he makes, like all the slight wrinkling of the face and these little,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're quite micro expressions, but they're pretty small. They're just so like it's not, he doesn't need to say anything, but he's still expressing something, and it's just everything about this
So
character is
lovely.
so wonderful. Yeah.
Also, the attention to detail in this film in terms of costuming is so good because, like, the way that Samir dresses is so, like, trendy. And I saw this on MTV, with like his baggy, like, parachute pants and stuff like that. And then
And
Akash's
in
entire
Goa, he's
wardrobe.
got all the fun like color. He's got like those madras plaid pants and
Yes.
fun stripy or interesting textile pants. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's way more into clothes, I think, than the other two.
Right. Way more flamboyant and
Yeah,
willing to take risks as well. But then Sid, I've noticed, which is again, like it's very artist coded. Like,
yeah,
yes, he wears jeans, but he wears chappals with it.
yeah.
And he wears these like basically linen kurtas. Like
Yep.
he looks like he walked into a Fab India and ordered
Yeah.
like
Boop,
bought
boop,
like
boop, boop.
four kurtas that work for him and he like unbuttons them. And it's very like I'm an artist. Like when they're
Is he wearing the outfit that men wear to Prithi Theater?
Yes, the only thing he's missing though is a jola and a grumpy expression. He needs
Ah,
both of
okay.
those. He's maybe a tad too unpretentious, so he needs to work on
Mm,
that. And also, he needs his jola. Oh, also, he cannot pick up the tab. Like, I don't care if he comes from money, but he has to stiff the person he's with. I've been stiffed by many artist
that's
types,
funny.
so I know.
Sid would never.
Yeah, Sid would never, which is why he's like
Doesn't
a
he
faux
have a
artist.
doesn't he have a Jola in Goa? I can't remember.
Maybe
He
I
has
don't remember.
anyway.
He should though. Yeah,
It's
he
a
needs to work on
backpack,
that
but
a little bit.
it's like a homespun fabric backpack, maybe
Good.
not a Jola.
Perfect. It's probably
Similar.
Femme Yeah. Like
Similar. Yeah.
he's not into polyester. Let's just say.
No. And neither is his mother, right? Their house is
Yeah.
extremely tasteful and
Yeah.
traditional.
And
It's
she
beautiful.
also shops at Fabidia. She
Oh
wears
yeah.
handloom only. She wears linens and cottons, and her saris
Hmm.
are perfectly pinned. It says
Hmm.
there's not one synthetic fabric and one sequin in sight.
Where is Sid's dad?
I don't know. His mom is clearly a single mother. And again, I like the fact that this movie does not make a fuss about it. Like, is she a divorcee? Is she a
Right.
widow? There's no.
I had on this rewatch, I was thinking about how
Mm.
his relationship with his apparently sole parent, we don't know for how long, we don't know, is that part of what he sees in Tara? Like he respects women who are managing things on their own, and like that is kind of a
Yeah, it could be because Akash's parental unit is definitely far more traditional. Like when his
Mhm.
parents sit him down, his dad is very much like, you need to do this and I'm sending
Yeah.
you. And like he's like the dad is like the person in charge and the mom is just like a supporting kind of a person,
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, that's really lovely as well. Did you know from a casting perspective that Farhan Akhtar had actually offered Amir Khan the role of Sid, and Amir is actually the one who said, no, I don't want to do that, I want to do the role of Akash. And so
Oh,
then Amir did Akash, and then Sid did, well, Sid, I mean, Akshay Khanna did the Sid role. Also, I read that this movie is, saying no to this movie is one of Hrithik Roshan's biggest career regrets because he was only one film old. He had only done Kahuna Pyar Hai, and Farhan Akhtar and him are besties since like
right.
kindergarten or whatever. He wanted Hrithik Roshan, I think he wanted him for the Akash role. I'm actually unclear on which role, but he wanted Hrithik Roshan. Hrithik Roshan said no. So then he went to Abhishek Bachchan, who also said no. And then that's how this cast was finalized.
I'm glad all those things happened. I have a very strong dislike of the idea of Hrithik Roshan in any of these roles. I'm sorry, I don't think he's a good enough actor for this film
Yeah.
at that point in his career. And I think you think more highly of him as an actor than I do, at least generally. I think he's quite good
Yeah. But I
sometimes.
also don't
But
think that he's like a great actor.
and Abhishek, I can see being Seth's character,
Yeah. But
maybe.
Abhishek would be so annoying.
No, this is the right
This is,
cast. I can
yes.
also see Amir as Sid, but this is
Yeah.
better.
This
This
is better. Yeah. Because no one does smugness like Amir does. So I don't know who else I would put in his role. Sid's character, I can see other people doing it, but also like Sid has this like puppy dog charm that Amir has never had.
Yeah. I looking at the filmographies was interesting too, because Akshay Khanna is only 4 years into acting at this point in his career, and these three actors are 5 years apart each. So
Yes.
Amir, Seth to Akshay, so there's actually a 10-year spread among them, which is interesting.
Amir
Um,
at 36 is definitely like very much the wrong
yeah,
generation for
yeah,
this movie. But what also made me giggle was when Hrithik Roshan said no to this movie. He said no because he wanted to focus on Subhash Ghai's Yadein, which is one of the most
great job.
atrocious things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've never seen it, and I can't really speak to it, but this is clearly better. I mean, this is one of
Oh,
the best Hindi movies of
ever.
all time.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
And to say no to that and to because you wanted to do Yade, like, are you kidding me? Also, um, apparently, Hrithik Roshan's two biggest career regrets are saying no to DCH and also saying no to Three Idiots, which I don't like Three Idiots. I know people freaking love that movie. I don't like it, but he regrets not doing that either. I mean, it was
Mm,
a gigantic hit, so I'm sure
sure,
he regrets not doing it.
sure. Mm.
Do you want to talk about the women in this film? Do you want to talk about Miss Preeti with her curls?
Oh, I was so happy to see her. As stated, we love her, or I love her anyway. Um, so fresh
I love
face,
her too. I want to be her friend.
so charming. And very interesting foil for
Yes.
Akash, right? I can see why he likes her. I cannot really see why she likes him, other than he is an alternative to Rohit, who is
Yeah, that's true.
abusive. Um, so that I don't really get, but I accept it as a thing that
Yeah.
happens in movies.
Yeah.
Um, But she is charming, and I like how she doesn't put up with certain things, at least right away. Um, how at the beginning when he's trying to get her to dance with him and she keeps saying no, 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 and he doesn't listen.
Hmm.
But
He also doesn't listen. Do you remember the Tara birthday scene where he's dancing with her and she also looks very like uncomfortable after a point and she's just not like enjoying herself and he still won't stop. This
that
man does
was
not listen.
so cringy to me. I had to fast forward.
Yeah. No, I watched the whole thing and it was just
Oof.
kind of like, can you stop, man? Like he
Yeah.
always has to suck up all the air in the room.
Yeah. And I think if this movie were to be made now, you couldn't have him do that and not have it shift how the people think about him, I think, because
Yeah.
how people think about him, because it's just no means no does not, or that would have more consequence in a character now, I think, than it did
Right.
25 years ago.
I did feel on this rewatch that one of the scenes that I felt just went on for too long and I could have done without it. And honestly, I don't even know if I needed that scene. I have mixed feelings about this scene, although I don't enjoy it. And I'm curious to hear what you think. It's the opera scene. Like,
It's too long. I think
it's
it's
too
too long.
long.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
And I
kind of
like
like,
opera, but it was too long.
yeah, like I mean, yes, he was being a complete brat because he's Akash. We're like making the faces and everything. I mean, that was a little bit funny where he looks at the other woman and he's like, ah, like that. And she's like, who is this horrible, cringy man? But even I kind of was like, yeah, okay, we get it. Can you like move it along? And also, like, the whole idea of I'm going to take this stupid boy to the opera so he can be in touch with his feelings. I'm like, is that necessarily
Has
a
that
project
ever
we want
worked?
to take on, Preeti?
Also, they were very rude because they're talking throughout the
Yeah,
opera. And while I am a person who will talk in the movies, I will not talk in a live performance because
right.
that is tacky and extremely disrespectful to the audience and the performers, of which there are
Well,
many.
if he had a cell phone, he probably would let his cell phone ring as well because it's Akash.
Absolutely. Oh, he was
Yeah. Sid
horrible.
wouldn't, but he would. But
No.
how do you feel about this whole idea? Because, like, this whole device of, I'm going to take you to the opera so I can show you that you have feelings and I can show you how to be in touch with your feelings. It's like, are we taking on the role of this man's therapist? Like, again, I think 25 years ago that was acceptable. And now I'm just kind of like, girl, move on. Find someone
Also,
better.
as I have often thought, as many people have expressed, opera and Bollywood have a fair amount in common. And this man
Yes.
is a Hindi speaker from Bombay. So I
Hmm.
think if he has not learned to be in touch with his feelings through Hindi cinema, which I'm not saying we have to assume that he likes it, but he's seen it,
Right.
I don't see how opera is going to get him. But
Right.
you do you. You do you,
Also,
shop.
in that one scene when he's all grumpy, he's listening to a Springsteen song, isn't he? Or Sting. I think he's
Sting.
listening
I
to
think it was
Sting.
Sting. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
he's at least listening to power ballads. He's at least listening to like rock, like you know.
Oh yeah, who is he listening to? God, that flew right by me in the movie, but I think you're right.
I think it was Sting. But yeah, like I just that whole thing I was just kind of like bored, and at that moment I definitely was, looking at my cell phone because I was like this is annoying. But yeah, to answer your question, I don't know what she sees in him. Having said that, her own character says in that one scene to him that you don't plan whom you fall in love with, it just happens. So by her own character's philosophy, it would make sense that she would just fall in love with a person that, for whatever reason, appeals to her. I actually thought that Mahesh Uncle was a far better
Interesting.
match for her, even though, yes, obviously they can't be together because he's her uncle or whatever, although the age gap is confusing to me. But like Rajat Kapoor is so darling in this movie. And I'm like, can't you find like a nice guy like Rajat Kapoor? Why you gotta be with Akash? Why are your choices Ayub Khan and Amir Khan?
Yeah.
Also, Ayub Khan in this movie gave me such strong Dilip Kumar vibes because he is his nephew and that gene pool is strong.
I didn't know that before, and
Oh,
I felt like
Dilip
I couldn't.
Kumar's
Yeah,
sister is Ayub Khan's mom.
I felt like I don't feel like I saw it. Isn't that interesting how people physical things don't read the same to all people? I
Yeah.
find that endlessly fascinating.
Because there were scenes with his close ups where I looked at Ayub Khan and I was like, wow, I totally see your uncle in your face. But I also really saw baby Shah Rukh in his face.
Mm,
Like Shah Rukh of Fauji era, I saw that same, like with the chubby cheeks, I saw that in Ayub Khan's face too, which also makes sense because baby Shah Rukh is very young Dilip Kumar coded. So that was interesting. His character is so awful and horrible, and I hate him so much. I will credit his parents with decent parenting during the wedding pre-ritual scene where they take Preeti Zinta aside to talk with her. That was some good parenting where they were
yeah,
like, we do not need you
not
to
in
be
public.
indebted to us. Like, do not do this. I was like, wow, that was some great parenting. And then he had to act like a brat and throw a little tantrum, and then Akash had to punch him. That felt a little too filmy and not
Although,
belonging to this
you
movie.
do feel a little bit bad for Rohit because, like, could you guys go in the living room and not in front of everyone? Because uncle kindly takes Preeti inside, so we don't
Yes.
see that conversation.
Right.
They should have moved everybody inside. Uh,
Yeah. But
yeah.
also, how did these seemingly decent people who are so kind and take care of their ex-business partners, how did they end up with this horrible child?
Well, I mean, I think we've all met good parents with
Yes,
terrible children, so
we have.
it happens. It happens.
No, I mean, he was so many red flags. Like that scene where she's like, okay, how many? Like, I was like, take a shot every time this reminds you of a girl you knew. Like that scene where she's like, Rohit doesn't like me talking to like boys that I don't know or whatever, like other boys. He's
Mhm.
just possessive. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, he's bad news. He's clearly bad
Yeah,
news.
that
Yeah,
was very annoying.
yeah. I'd be curious if how strongly he read as bad news at the time.
Mm,
Right. I'm not saying I think most people would have thought, what a great guy, but I wonder if
yeah,
it would have pinged as hard, as fast for as many
yeah.
people. I'd love to say yes. I hope it did, but
I think a lot of people would do that same justification nonsense that Preeti does, where she's like,
yeah.
he's just possessive. He just loves me
Yeah.
a lot. You guys don't get it. Like, we
Yeah.
all have that friend that we
Yeah.
have tried. So infuriating,
Yeah.
where you're telling someone how awful someone is, and they're like, but no, but like, he loves me. And it's like,
Yeah.
just shut up, just be quiet. But I think the moment where people would be like, "Oh, girl, you got to get away from him," is the scene
Hmm.
where he like grabs her and like shakes her, and she
Absolutely.
literally says, "Rohit, you're hurting me." Like, if that scene doesn't make you realize this man is horrible and you cannot be associated with him in any way, then I have no hope for you.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the music?
Let's talk about um Sonali though before we leave
Oh
for a
yeah,
minute. I mean, she doesn't have a ton to do, but she is present for a very funny line of dialogue, which is when Seth introduces her to her own parents
oh yeah,
and then is like, I knew that was coming. I remember that line and it still made me laugh. This is my mom and dad and your mom and dad.
yeah.
So great. It's so great.
He's so cute in this movie. I
He
can't get
is.
over Steph in this movie.
He really is. Okay. I mean,
There was like,
she doesn't have enough to do really, that
yeah,
character. And
she
I would
doesn't.
like to
She,
have seen a couple more rounds of interactions between those two, partly because I was enjoying him so much, but I just wanted a
yeah,
little more to go on. But
yeah.
charming.
She was just so charming, and I feel like she was just amused in the whole movie. Like she spends the whole movie being amused, either amused by
Yes.
her
Too bored.
boyfriend who is so ridiculously
Yeah.
overscheduled and overly
Yeah.
sentimental, and then being amused by this extremely zany person that she is also kind of seeing at the same time. And she's just kind of like enjoying the goings on. Again, this is a person who lives in a bubble, who has a very privileged life,
Yeah.
who has all the opportunities in the world, and she seems fairly like wholesome and grounded. I actually think, you know how sometimes you watch a movie and you're like, wow, this couple is fun right now, but they're not going to make it in the long run. Like I always think of Aditya and Geet from Jab We Met. Like
Mm.
I don't know. I'm 50-50 on whether their marriage lasts or not, but I feel like Samir and I forget what her character is called. I feel like the Saif and Sonali pairing, they'll make it. They'll be great. They'll be. She'll actually provide like a good like grounding force for him because he can be a little
They're
silly.
both so good-natured, right?
I
Like,
know.
I think that they will weather life's challenges
I'm gonna be couple friends
better.
with them. They're adorable.
Yeah, they're really fun. Okay,
Yeah.
now music if you want.
Yes. Which is your favorite song in this absolute gigantic banger of a soundtrack?
वो लड़की है कहाँ?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because you
I
did say
just think
that
it's
actually.
perfect. But and I do like it outside of the movie by itself, just and with no picturization, just by itself. But Koi Kahe is also like I had to stand up and bounce around my living room when it came
Yeah.
on, and I was tired and
Did
went in
you
my
do
room. I'm still
this?
a little bit
Okay.
until my arms got tired.
My
It's such
favorite
a
song
fun
is
song.
it's so good. My favorite is probably the title song.
Also
Um
great.
so great. And I love how there's two versions of it.
Yeah.
My favorite version is the one that has a little bit more of like an Afro beat or like a
Yeah.
little bit of a Brazilian beat in
Yeah.
it that comes towards the end.
Yeah.
I mean, Dil Chahta is just such a good song. The lyrics are so amazing. Um, I even really love Jani Kyun Log Pyar Karte Hain, just because of
Hmm.
like the repartee between Preeti and
Although
him. That's very
I
entertaining as
do
well.
not like Alka Yagnik for Preeti. I do not.
Mm,
I just don't think it's a good match, and I actually just don't like Alka very much. But I was like, oh.
yeah.
Um, I also really, this time I really enjoyed Tanhai, which
Oh
that's been a,
yeah.
I did fast forward it a little bit because it's just Amir walking around. I'm like, we got it. But
Right.
oh, sorry for people watching us on YouTube. We're having some technical difficulties, but hopefully we can. Oh, there you go. Pitu's back.
I
We had
just had to switch my
freezing.
video off and switch it on
Gotcha.
again
Gotcha.
because I was like, maybe
Um,
let's do that.
yeah.
Yeah, Tanhai was it's a really good like the
It
lyrics in this
works.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the lyrics in it are so good. Like there's this one line, like Javed Akhtar, man. Javed Akhtar is like going all in for his son. But there's a line where he says, Nagin jaise lehrai. Like, like you're imagining like a snake like just slithering into his
Mm.
brain and making him all miserable. Like that was like a really good song too.
More technical difficulties. Our apologies. Um,
Is there perhaps a tufan
maybe
coming?
there's
I
a
don't think
tufan
there's a
coming, or
tufan
maybe we can
coming.
just not worry about video for the rest of it because we're probably almost done anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah, the songs in this are really great. Of course, they're great.
Did you have any lasting thoughts on Dil Chahta Hai?
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't strongly enough recommend this film. Everyone should watch it, rewatch it. It is an absolute masterpiece. I keep trying to come up with another word for masterpiece and not being able to come up with one, but this is
Iconic.
it is iconic, and I think it absolutely should be. There are a few little wrinkles like we said, but I mean, this is as close to perfect as a movie can be, I think. And I say this
Yeah.
even though I think the argument can be made it is a little light on the women characters, right? But the
Yes.
men are so they're actual full characters. They're not just caricatures, and they do interact
Hmm.
with women in meaningful ways. And these are learning and growing all those things, right? Like there's this movie is just charming and fun and creative and a little aspirational, to be honest. Like who amongst us would not want to hop in our convertible and drive to Goa and
Yes.
have a have all this lovely time doing just Goa things and enjoying beach and nice weather and all that and being contemplative and thoughtful. I just everything about this is really, really well done. And please go tell your friends how much you love them.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's so strange, like this time capsule to watch these people being young and frolicking and footloose and fancy free and remembering the fact that we were that way too, ages and ages ago. But now it's like Gen Z's turn to take the stage, and it's so interesting. It's like you and I are both Gen X, and so like Gen X had their time in the sunshine, and then there was the millennials, and now we have Gen Z, and it's like, you pass on that torch. There's that funny scene that always cracks me up where Tara's character, Dimple Kapadia's character Tara, at one point she lashes out at Sid and she says to him, "This is the problem with your generation."
Yeah,
And it's like now it's this generation that is basically like Seth and Amr have like grown ass children that are,
right. Have
and
debuted.
then yeah, that have debuted. It's kind of whack to me. Dimple Kapadia is a grandmother.
Right.
She's a
Well,
grandmother with grown grandchildren.
she was also an extremely young bride. So,
Yeah, she was. Wasn't she like 17 or something when she got married? Like
yeah,
it
and
was something wackadoo.
I had never really thought about that wrinkle to her portraying Tara before. I'm like, well, you don't have an age difference than you realize.
Yeah, yeah. That didn't stop you.
There is one more thing I'd like to say about this, which is just the Farhan Akhtar of it all.
Yes.
I had to remind myself he has directed only 4 feature films.
Oh, that's
This, Lakshya, Dawn, and Dawn.
well, what about Zindagi Mein Lagi? Oh, that's a Zoya Akhtar movie. See,
Mhm.
sometimes I confuse the siblings because they're
He
so involved with
he
each other.
writes, he produces,
Right.
he acts,
Acts.
which I'm okay with, and he sings, which I don't need.
No.
But he has actually only directed 4 films.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. I
yeah.
guess he's really busy though, like with Excel
Oh, sure.
Entertainment
Yeah,
and the fact that him and his sibling do so much together. Like
yeah,
the Dharakne though, for example, I can never remember whose movie that actually is, but it
yeah,
is Zoya and Rima
yeah.
Kagde's movie, and he's just acting in it. But I
Right.
that whole family is like very involved in each other's work, including Javed. But yeah, no. But kudos to Farhan Akhtar for this to be your
Absolutely.
debut film, and for him to be in charge of everything, the story, the screenplay, the dialogues. Like it's just the direction. I mean, it's just amazing to me that
Yeah,
he did all the things in this. Yeah.
yeah. A+.
A+, we give a gold star to this movie. Please watch it. Hopefully it's a bittersweet watch for you. If you're young, you're just going to find this movie happy. If you're old like us, it's going to make you a little bit sad and bring back a whole lot of nostalgia. But always remember, like, don't put your friends to the wayside. Friendships are important,
Yeah.
and while life gets in the way, and your career and your pets and your spouse and your hobbies and your health concerns and all
Yeah,
of those things get in the way, friendship is one of the most beautiful things that we have in the world, and friendship is the friends or the family you choose for yourself.
very true.
So just try to be nice friends to each other, and if your friend needs a smacking once in a while like Akash does, then please do it, because it's entertaining for us to watch. All right, well, thank you for watching this episode, and we will see you next week on Filmy Ladies.
Do the flappy
Bye.
dance. Yeah.
The flappy dance. And also this.